Good morning, third grade. Today you have lesson 101, and the front side of this paper I am going to show you, but I really want to caution you about using this strategy unless you feel really confident in your division. So really, this doesn't change how you do division. It just more or less takes away one step. So, like I said, if you're still practicing division and feel like you could use more practice, keep doing division like you've been doing. But I'm going to show this one to you anyway because some of you might be wanting to see this. So it's called shortcut division. And like I said, it's called shortcut because it really is just one step that you take away. And that step in the example one is right here. So shortcut division just means that when you look at your divisor and the first number of your dividend is smaller, so I always would say, if I have 4, how many groups of 5 can I make? Well, you can't make any groups of 5, and so you've always put the 0 up top. Well, then when you go to check it, you say 5 times 0 is 0, and you put the 0 here, and then you subtract it, you get your 4, and then you bring it down your 2. Well, now you're back to exactly where you started with. You started with 42 divided by 5, and now you just did a whole step, and you're still at 42 divided by 5. And so the purpose of shortcut is to eliminate that section that's in yellow. And if your divisor, the number on the outside, is bigger than that first number, then you're going to immediately put the 0, but then go ahead and just skip count by that number. So let me show you what I mean by that. So in this first problem here, we have 6. How many groups of 6 can you make from the number 4? Well, you can't make any groups. It's 0. So I know that since it's 0, I'd be doing 6 times 0, and that would be 0. I'd write it, I'd subtract it, I'd say 4, bring down my 9. Well, look, this number is the same as this number right here. So I'm going to just not do that. I'm going to erase that. And now I'm going to, since I know it's already going to be 49, I'm just going to skip count by 6s until I can get as close to possible as 49. Okay, and so 6, 12, I keep going, and I get up to 6 times 8. 6 times 8 fell on the plate, picked it up, is 48. So I'm going to do 6 times 8, and that's 48. So that's a weird 8. Now when I subtract it, 49 take away 48 is 1. So I have 8 and a remainder of 1. And now, if you look at it, I only did one subtraction problem, or only had one that I multiplied, and then I had my remainder. So I took out a lot of the extra writing. Like I said, it's only one step. It's just a lot of extra writing. Then I check it as usual. So I do 8 times 6, because that's what my divisor, or my quotient and my divisor are together. So 6 times 8. If you want to do your 8 strategy, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 12 is 24, 24 plus 24 is 48. Then I have to add on my 1 remainder, and I get 49. Okay, so therefore, these two match. I am done. All right, so that is the shortcut division. I'll do one more with you. So if I look at B, I look at my 7. Can I make a group of 7 if I just have 5? Let's say I have 5 M&Ms sitting on my desk. Can I make a group of 7? No, I cannot. So that means I need to put my 0 there. There's no groups of 7. But if I subtract it, it's going to still be 51. So instead of writing that again, I'm just going to count by 7s until I get close to 51. Okay, and I happen to know my doubles, and 7 times 7 is 49. So I'm going to put my 7 there, and my 49. 7 times 7 is exactly 49. So I need to subtract that. Here, if I'm subtracting, I would need to borrow or just count up, but I'll borrow. Okay, so 11 take away 9 is 2. Do I have any other numbers to bring down? No, I don't. So I have a remainder of 2. And then I would check it. So that's all that is new for your shortcut. Like I said, some of you that will just make sense. Maybe you've already even been thinking that and doing it that way. For others of you, you're like, whoa, I do not get what Mrs. Decker's saying. If that's you, don't do it this way. That's okay. I never will require you to do the shortcut version. Okay? Your book never even requires you to do it. It just gives you it as an option. Okay? I'll read the story problems for you or with you. So A says Nathan is organizing his rock collection. He has 96 rocks that he wants to store in 8 boxes. How many rocks per box will there be? Okay, look for those clue words. Nathan is organizing his rock collection. He has 96 rocks. He wants to store them in 8 boxes. How many rocks per box will there be? And then Olivia has 10 more rocks in her collection than Nathan has in his. How many rocks do both children have in all? So you have to solve A before you can solve B. Okay. All right, and then onto the back side. Here is a skill that the 4th graders are actually utilizing right now. So this is something that I want you to learn and then remember. So it's checking equivalent fractions. So an equivalent fraction means that, like, if I have a circle and another circle, and one of them looks like this, and the other one is just like this, well, the first fraction is 2/4. This fraction is just 1/2. So those are equal. Now we are going to practice making equivalent fractions using it tells you have to use 2 as a factor today. So we learned this a few lessons ago, but we haven't really had to practice it very much. You're going to practice it again today. All right? So 2/5. What we're going to do, we're going to do 2/5. We're going to say times 2, and you have to do it on the top and the bottom. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10. So 2/5 is the same as 4/10. Now, we're going to check that using cross multiplication. So you use the space down below. So you're going to write your 2 fractions. You're going to say 2/5 and 4/10 side by side. When we say cross multiplication, we literally cross over. Okay, so my 2, I'm going to do 2 times 10 equals, and then I'm going to make an X and cross over and say 5 times 4 equals. When we multiply these problems, if the answers are the same, then that means we have an equivalent fraction. It means that our fractions are equal. So 2 times 10 is 20, and 5 times 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, it is 20. So these are equal, so that means our fraction up above is equal. All right, so the next one I'll just set up for you. You're going to have 3/4, and you're going to have something else. You're going to need to do times 2. Okay, so to go ahead and do that for those next 2. Practice finding and for the fractional part of a whole. So you always have to start with your big number when we're doing this because it's 1/6 of out of how many, that means total. Then are you going to use your 1 or your 6? See if you can remember how to do these. solve a measurement equation. So you learned in last lesson or 2 lessons ago that you need to get them all to be in quarts because that's what that question is wanting the answer in. So you're going to find the one that's not in quarts, put a box around it, and solve that one. All right, and then finally 7 is greater than or less than. All right, please ask if you have any questions. Otherwise, good luck.